Hi, everyone, and welcome to MAR Talks and our Revolutionary Mothering series. I am Carrie Cavers, founder of Moms Against Racism Canada, and we've done several interviews already, and I've loved each one. I have to say, I feel pretty grateful to be connecting with such inspirational people from all across Canada and even in the US. And I also feel grateful to be able to do this from my home in Victoria, BC. Here, I acknowledge that I'm an uninvited guest on the unceded ancestral lands of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples in the area of the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wasanic First Nations. I feel very humbled to be here talking to our guest today about building a better future while occupying the stolen lands of the Indigenous peoples who have stewarded these lands time immemorial. It is in part through radical acts of love and revolutionary mothering that we work to create equity for Indigenous, Black, and communities of color across Canada. So this is how one of the co-editors of the book, Revolutionary Mothering, Love on the Front Lines, explains what we're talking about today. So she says, we are looking at mothering as an investment in the future that requires a person to change the status quo of their own lives, of their community, and of the society as a whole, again and again and again, in the practice of affirming growing, unpredictable people who deserve a world that is better than what we can even imagine. And many people do the labor of mothering who would never even dream of identifying as mothers, even though they do the daily intergenerational care work of making a hostile world an affirming space for another person who is growing mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. My friend, Silvia Mangue Alene, embodies revolutionary mothering. Silvia holds a Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in Human Resources from Camosun College, a postgraduate diploma in Intercultural Education from the University of Victoria, and a certificate in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion from Cornell University. She is founder of two organizations, Kulea Love and Kulea Culture Society. And Kulea Love is a social enterprise with the objective of helping people in the community carry out their everyday life activities. They work not only with seniors who often need some additional help to fulfill their needs and responsibilities inside and outside of their homes, but they also assist people of all ages who just need some extra support. Silvia's second organization, Kulea Culture Society, has a purpose of raising awareness about and reducing discrimination and stereotyping by fostering respect for equity, diversity, and inclusion through education, information, consultation programs, conferences, cross-cultural exchanges, and research. And not only that, she's also the president of the BC Black History Awareness Society. Here, it's her role to educate, disseminate, and support Black British Columbians' achievements, past, present, and future, by bringing together diverse groups of people who have an interest in promoting education and learning about British Columbia and Canadian Black history. Silvia's passions, among many others, are women's issues, her two organizations, and fitness and wellness. Silvia was born in Equatorial Guinea, a country in West Central Africa. She immigrated to Madrid, Spain in 1978 at the age of 8, where then she grew up. Silvia now lives in Victoria, BC, and is the mother of a 17-year-old son. Hi, Silvia. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So,
I'm happy to be here today.
Oh, good. So if you're ready, I will start in on our questions.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But before I get to answer your questions, I want to acknowledge the lands that I am sitting on today, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Songhees and Lekwungen people. I'm very grateful. Here I can work, I have raised my son, and I have the opportunity to work in the community and to realize myself professionally. So I'm very grateful for that.
I am grateful for that too, Sylvia, that you get to do those things. We all benefit from it.
We all.
So for our Revolutionary Mothering series, we're asking all our interviewees the same 3 questions. So the first question is, what does revolutionary mothering mean to you?
Wow. You know what, when I was reading about that question, I was thinking, revolutionary mothering mean to me. First of all, I thought about all mothers, and the mothers that came before me, and the mothers that came before me, and the mothers that came before me. And I think that I'm not doing anything different than they did. I think they all were revolutionary in their ways. But again, personally, when I hear the word revolution, it's hard for me not to think of it in a personal way. Sorry, not personal, in a political context, right? So revolution comes from a Latin word that means revolutio, which means to turn around, right? And a sudden turn around from the status quo, and that the status quo normally was not good one. Okay, so when I hear mother and then revolution, I'm thinking, what are we saying, that our ancestors' mothers were not good, or that we are better than them, and to me that is not is I think all mothers. I don't think I'm revolutionary in that way. I wouldn't say that I'm a revolutionary mother, because I don't think I have done anything different than my parents have done, or my parents' parents, or my parents' parents, when it comes to the essence of what is to mother, which is love. Right now, of course, the times have changed. Right, times are dynamic, but I think that even in those times, and our parents, grandparents' times, any time has been a time for you to love your child and to guide them the best that you can, right? So to use the word revolution as a definition of a way to being a mother is like saying that my mother and her mother did something wrong when it comes to motherhood. And so therefore, I want to make a turnaround, right? Because it's revolution. I make a turnaround, not to mother like my mother did, or like my mother did. You understand what I'm saying? But as I said, there's no turning around here when it comes to motherhood to me, right? Every mother wants the best for their child, and wants their child to be good, to be a good person, and to be happy. And a mother will do what it takes to achieve those goals. And to me, that is what matters. Besides, I don't think that there is anything revolutionary to the way we may mother now. What I think that times are different, and that the way we do things now are different as well to the way my mother or my mother did. But the essence, as I said before, the essence of motherhood still is the same, which is love your child. So that is when it comes to revolutionary motherhood. But when it comes to revolutionary other aspect of my life, like my work and the way I do things, especially the way I do work and especially the way I treat people, that is revolutionary, because I can pinpoint what I'm doing wrong, and I can change that. With motherhood, it's all, nobody knows. There's not a book. There's not a book that says, now you do this, but don't do this, and then if you do this, do that. There's not a book that teaches you how to be a mother. You just have to do it every day, and do it the best you can. but when it comes to my work and when it comes to my treatment with people and to how I want to do things, yeah, that then I use revolution, especially when I don't like the status quo, especially when I don't like it, and I try to find new ways to turn around and to do things, you know. And you know what? It may be it can be revolutionary, but that doesn't mean that it's the correct way either, right? Your revolution way can also be wrong. So that's why it's important that we work with people, and that's why it's important that we have diverse team and diverse people, so that we can talk about our ideas and we can have conflicts of idea. And the conflict word here is not a dirty word. Conflict here means like, I listen to you, I don't agree what you were saying, I ask you to elaborate more so that I can understand. So we listen, and then we build on each other's experiences and ideas, and then all together we make a decision. So to me, that is revolutionary. That is revolutionary to me. Yeah.
And I think that I hear what you're saying about how that love throughout the generations within motherhood and pouring that love into our children, that in itself is not revolutionary mothering. That's just mothering. But I think where the idea of like the concept of revolutionary mothering is that in the face of oppression, in the face of racism, in the face of being told you're not worthy, that as mothers and those people in mothering roles, that we are saying, no, we are worthy, our children are worthy, we are going to love them, we are going to breathe life into them, we are going to nurture them despite you trying to crush us. And it's through that love and that nurturing and that building of working to change that status quo, right? Mm-hmm. So it's more not necessarily like turning our backs on our ancestors, more so standing on their shoulders of what they laid that foundation for, and that resilience throughout the years, and that we're working to pass that on to the future generations so that they can continue to change that status quo and continue to work to build communities of equity and to have, like you were saying, greater diversity. So I think that both of what you're saying hits the nail on the head of where you are seeing revolutionary mothering, and then where you are not. So I appreciate your perspective on that. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that you appreciate my point of view. And as I said, revolution, if you want to use the word revolution, is fine. And the revolutionary mothers then have exist always, always. Mothers that have gone to school to show their children that you can do it. Mothers that have done good in the community. Mothers that can have talked to their children like, you know, no matter what. Imagine if we didn't love our children as Black mothers, we wouldn't have children. Right? We know as Black mothers what our children have to face. But yet we bring them into this world and we teach them. And to me, that is something that talks about the essence of love and humanity, right? And also it's gonna depend on the parent, right? Because some parents are more prepared than others. Some parents know more academically. Some parents are, you know, less prepared academically. You know, it's just so different dimensions of parenthood, right? And what one parent think that is okay, other parents may think, oh my God, I will never do that, right? So yeah, so the word revolutionary for me, to put it together uh, with a parent, with motherhood. If I have to use it like that, then I have to say that all parents, have been, not all, but some of them have been revolutionary at one point. Yeah.
And I think that all parents have the ability to be revolutionary. It
Yeah,
just
if they want
takes
to.
that, like you say, stepping into those spaces and imagining that better life for your kids and doing what needs to be done to
Mhm,
build that,
mhm.
right? Not accepting the status quo. And like you say, there's so many different variables as to why someone would or wouldn't do that, and no judgment.
Mhm,
We're all operating from different
mhm.
stories and experiences and understandings.
Yeah.
And
I have a brother, for example. We talk once a month, and he was telling me that he won't have children precisely because of that, right? And I hope he changed his mind. You know, I hope he changed his mind because it is guidance and love. Sometimes love is not enough, though, but I think it will be a great loss if he doesn't have children, because I think he will be a great father. Yeah, but yeah. Mhm.
well, and you have, I mean, we've talked about this before, but you have so much love to give. And a lot of the love that you give, like I don't want to call it radical, but it's not what everybody would do, Sylvia.
Really?
Not everybody
Really?
would
Oh, I don't,
love
you
so
must know something
freely.
that I don't know. You must know something that I don't know. But I don't know. You must know something that I don't know. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? And the default is treat people well, right? Um, so, and is what I try to do. I love people. I believe in human capital. I think that when we nurture people, when we nurture friendship, when we nurture relationships, we have much more to gain than when we don't, right? So yeah, just be kind, be nice. Sounds easier. So just be kind, just be nice. But you can practice. You can practice, and we have a brain. That's a good thing. Our brain is like our muscle. You know how you work out and you go to the gym to make your muscle look good and nice. Well, you can do the same thing with the brain. You can train your brain, and that is the beauty. You can train your brain to be kind. You can start okay, smile at the receptionist every time you see her, or smile at the janitor every time you see him. Or smile at the guy at the supermarket that is packing your bags. So you can train your brain, and I tell you what, it works. It works. Sometimes it works. It works if you train your brain to be kind and to be, just start with a smile. And sometimes it's very hard to crack a smile because you have had a tough day. But we have to try.
We
And it's
do.
not your fault that you had a tough day. It's not the fault of the people packing your groceries. It's not the fault of those people that we deal with every day.
So then, the love that you share with others in the amount of energy and effort and time that you spend caring for others. This is why that is what I saw in you, and why I invited you to participate in this series. And even just the love and care and support and mothering that you've showed me, like, that is revolutionary. You may not see that in yourself.
Yeah, you insist. Okay.
But not, this
You're
is
good.
not.
You're good. I like it. I like it, yeah.
So it's not something that everybody does. You have a beautiful heart, and you share it so freely, and so I would say that is how you practice revolutionary mothering, and how you show up in the world, and you continue to show up that way.
Thank you.
I think it is beautiful, where you don't come armored.
No. For what? For what? Right? For what? If somebody wants to hurt me, they are free to do it. They can go ahead and hurt me because I don't come armored. But people don't want to hurt people in general. People are good in general, and that's what we have to. If somebody's gonna come and hurt me, then well, they will hurt me because I don't have any armor, right? But my experience have been that there are more good people out there than bad people. And when you get hurt, another person comes with, and loves you 100 times more than you were hurt. So it's worth it. It's worth it to not be on guard. Yeah. And plus, what a waste of time and waste of energy, to be always on guard, right?
So I'm mindful of the time. I'm going to ask our last question.
I'm fine. I'm very fine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
I love the conversation we are having here. I only miss a glass of wine. I love wine.
Are you right?
I love wine. Yeah. So I'm having fun because as it is important, you see, I listened to what you had to say about Revolutionary Mother, and I listened to the things that you were saying about revolution, right? And yes, and you may be right, and probably you're right, like the way that you described, those ways are revolutionary, right? But love is revolution. That is true. Love is revolution because love changes things, right? So love it's in itself is a revolution, because we see when you put love into something or somebody, they change to the best, right? Don't we? So yeah.
Well, then that brings me to our last question.
Yeah.
And I look forward to your answer. So what advice do you have for those wanting to be allies and dismantlers of racism?
Excellent. Yeah, that is an excellent question, because there are people that do want to do better and that want to. Okay, so an ally, what is an ally? So how would you define an ally?
Well, for me personally, an ally is someone who is, one, not self-identified as an ally, but someone who, for me, I would call a friend an ally, who is consistently showing up, who is actively working to dismantle racism, who is humble about where they're at and their internalized beliefs. And that they're continuing to do the work, and they're standing up, and they're in it day in and day out, not a one-time shot.
Yeah, I guess we can use the word ally. I would prefer the word resistance. People that resist with us. but not, they don't resist because they want to, they are doing us a favor, the people that are oppressed or suffer criticism, discrimination. They are standing with us and resisting with us because discrimination and prejudice is detrimental for both the person that is putting the oppression as well as the person that is receiving it, right? So yeah, resistance to those things that are so harmful for society and for our communities, because to me an ally is somebody that if I need help, I call them, right?
Mm.
Hey, help me, let's fight. And then she fights with me and then we win the war or whatever. And then but it's more than that, because it's a fight that is all of us fight. It's not only my fight, it's all of us fight. So we all are in this together. So you are not my ally, you are the person that is making things that these things don't happen anymore, so you're not doing it to do me a favor. No, you're not, you're not fighting with me to make me win the war. You're fighting because you want the war to be won for all of us, right? So I think that's the only thing that about the word allyship, but yes, you're right. We need a lot of people to resist. We need a lot of people to fight together with us, but to take this fight as their own fight as well, to truly believe that this is something that also benefits me, not only Black people or the groups seeking equity, right? So yeah, that is it.
So what do you have advice? What's your advice for those people?
I have lots of advice. Yeah, there is a lot of books out there that people can read. I have a list of books. If you want, I can send you later an email with the list of books that you can put on your website for your friends and your people. Listen, validate people's stories. Both ways, okay? Both ways, because sometimes Black people don't wanna validate white people's stories, because they roll their eyes and say, yeah, but you are blonde and blue eyes. What are you talking about? But still, that blonde girl and blue-eyed girl has her story, right? And I'm sure that sometimes she has been suffered discrimination somehow, right? Because she's a woman or because whatever, right? So it's important to listen. It's very important. Do more listening than talking. Yeah. And
That
ask
is
questions.
great advice.
Yeah, ask questions. It's always good to ask questions. Don't be embarrassed to ask. I hope I didn't disappoint you with my answer.
No, I think I think that is fantastic advice. It both, and it's something that I see within MAR in the group itself, that the most learning happens when we're listening and reflecting.
And that also takes training, but you can train yourself. Just be quiet.
But then it's also, like you say, it's also important to engage.
Oh yeah.
And to ask those questions.
Oh yeah. It's important. And don't feel bad by asking, and just say, hey, I don't know about this. How can I go about this? And ask more than one person, because all Black people are different. We are not monolithic. We don't have the same, we have experiences that may be similar, but they are not the same. So I may think, like, for example, to me, the word Black, I love people referring to me as a Black woman, but there's other Black people that don't like the word Black. Right? So it's important to ask, and it's important to, and I'm not saying that I'm right and they are wrong or vice versa, it's just who I am, that it's just my experience, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yeah. Oh, how did you like the event for International Women's Day? Did you get to watch it?
I did. It was wonderful. I have to say I really enjoyed the musical guests. I didn't realize how much I was missing that.
Oh yeah, to listen music live, huh? Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you very much for that.
I'm glad that you had time to tune in. I'm glad. Yeah. It was
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up because I know that we could probably keep chatting forever and we'll start trailing off into a whole bunch of other subjects. But
so yeah, let's keep it to what it is. You can edit that part.
yeah, no, we'll keep it in. But for those who are watching and would like to find out more about Kulea Culture Society and Kulea Love, you can head to Silvia's website at kuleaculturesociety.org and kulealove.com. And then to learn more about BC Black History Awareness Society and the work that Silvia does there, you can head to their website at bcblackhistory.ca. And all of those links will be down below in the information from this video. So thank you again, my friend, for all of the revolutionary mothering that you do.
Thank you.
The world definitely needs the radical acts of love that you bring every day. So
radical. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Take care.
You too.